Good evening, everybody. I'm going to do something a little different tonight. Based on a couple comments, I'm going to talk about how I hold my guitar pick. You know, your guitar pick is a lot more important than you think. Those little things and relatively inexpensive little things are really important. So I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on how to hold your guitar pick and picking in general, but particularly with the guitar pick itself. Hope you'll watch. Well, you know, sometimes my wife will watch some of these videos I make, just some of these playthrough videos. She might be one of the only ones, but anyway, the last time she watched, she said, well, your pick looks so funny the way I was holding my pick. And, you know, I never really thought about it too much. I looked at it and I said, by golly, you're right. It does look kind of funny, doesn't it? And I've had a couple other people mention the way I hold my pick. So I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. I hope you'll consider watching. First thing I wanted to say is that picks are a lot better now. I'm older than maybe a lot of you, maybe not some of you, but I bet I'm older than quite a few of you. And there are definitely some disadvantages to being older, but one of the advantages is you can kind of look back and see change over time. And you don't have to read about it. You don't have to ask people about it. You can kind of have your own memories and experiences. And one of the things is when people say we're living in a golden age of gear, I really think that's true. The guitars are great. I mean, really. And so are the guitar picks. You know, I used to go through, when I played in a kid, I played in a bar band all over Detroit. We weren't that good, but we could have been a little better. But I used to buy those brown Fender mediums. I don't see those around too much anymore, but that was always kind of my pick. Just a quick interjection. I wanted to get a picture of an old vintage 70s Fender guitar pick like the ones that used to be everywhere and that I always used. And I found out they're going for $20 on eBay. I don't know if that's what they get for them, but they're vintage Fender guitar picks. That said, they used to crack all the time. I'll take my yellow Dunlops today. A lot of good memories with them, but still, I'm holding up. I used to buy those brown Fender mediums, and those things would crack all the time. So I'd bring a bunch of them, and they would crack. Now these days, I use this. This is my pick of choice, a Dunlop 73. It's yellow, and I think that's more or less a medium. And it never cracks. Now I play, and sometimes it'll start to wear down, but I've never seen one crack, and it also doesn't get all mushy. The only thing I would say is once in a while after you use it a lot, it'll start to wear down. Sometimes because they're yellow, I've made mistakes buying them. They look the same in the bag. I bought that one, which is a little different shape. That's okay. But I bought a pack of these the other night, and this one's pointy. Looked the same. I didn't realize it till I got home from Guitar Center. I said, man, and the guy at Guitar Center, when I was in there next time, I told him I didn't like these pointy ones. He said people do like them, try them, but I haven't really even tried them. But I guess I'm a creature of habit, and this is my pick of choice. Just for the FYI, I just bought this box. I just got it in the mail. It's got a whole big supply of picks. So, but picks are better now. You know, another thing that's better now, just little things. You know, the guitars are better now, but even little things. Another thing, I was playing with the drummer, and he told me like the twist, the things that you tie fasten your drums with. He said those always used to strip out when he was a kid, and now they're always just are crisp and clean. That's probably a better quality of metal or something. And mic stands are like that. You know, mics. I mean, the old garage band mic where you'd start out at the night and the mic would keep slipping down because everything was loose and stripped out, and you had to keep lifting it up and maybe even get some tape out. Stuff's better now, and guitar picks are better now. Okay, this is where I keep my picks. You can see I've got this kind of extra one, but I bought this box. No, it's not what you think it is. I know what it looks like. But it could be. But they're all my picks. And the slide bars, a couple of these twizzle ties, slide bars. I felt kind of funny doing this video. I'm certainly not holding myself up as a perfect example of how to hold a pick or anything else about playing guitar, but I have had a couple people mention it. So the first thing I would like to say is there was that old 38 Special song, great song, Hold On Loosely. You know, Hold On Loosely. Could be interpreted variously, including some PG-13, but I think it's true of the pick. You've got to hold on to these things, but you can't be stiff. You know, I used to teach guitar, and my wife teaches a little guitar to kids, and she said a lot of times the same thing. People hold that pick really stiff, and then they kind of push it on the strings, and it can't be stiff, but at the same time, you've got to hold it tight and have a lot of control over it. You don't want to drop it, but also by holding it tight, you know, it kind of, I've always felt, if you think about it, it kind of resonates with your whole body. The sound production is a mystery, and even the most intelligent people in the world, it's a mystery and all the things. But if you think about it, you're holding that pick, and the tone is coming in a way right off your pick. So hold it nice and tight because it gives you control and you can do different things. But don't hold it stiff, because you won't be able to play that well, and also I think obviously it hurts the tone, and mostly you just can't play that well. But hold it firmly but loosely. You know, that's a kind of weird thing, but hold it firmly but loosely. One of the things that people sometimes notice about the way I play is that quite often I hold it flat on the strings like this instead of like this. This is what you see at a lot of times. And you know what? There's no one right way, and within a single phrase, the picks will be moving around. You're not a robot, and so it's a human thing. But a lot of times when I start a phrase, I lay it down flat on the strings like that, and I think that's what some people think looks kind of funny. I was even trying. trying to figure out why I do that. I just think it, when I think it kind of, when you do that, like here, I'm doing it right there. See how flat it is? And one thing, I don't know, I think you get a good tone out of it. But see, I'm really isolating that one string. I'm playing the G string here. And if I went like this and I was out, it doesn't sound bad, but you get kind of more control when you lay it flat. So I really even don't know how to explain why I do that. But that, I think, is what a lot of people notice is about the... And see, I don't leave it like that. See, now I'm back up. But sometimes when I really want sustain, yeah, so I hold it flat, and I think that's good. The other thing that I think is hard for me, I watch my own videos, and they're not that serious. I don't consider them a big deal or anything, but I do kind of watch them, and I'll notice one of the things that I think is the hardest is conserving movement and not overplaying, and that goes to a lot of things, but definitely goes to your picks. So, like if you're taking and one of the things that I think is so good to do for a variety of reasons. It develops your ear, it develops your musicianship, is take a melody song, not just, riffs and jams, but take a melody song. Fortunately, YouTube won't let you play a lot of them, but find a nice melody. When You Wish Upon a Star, anything with a really sweet melody. A lot of those melody songs were piano-based. But just try to play it really clean and don't move around a lot. It'll kind of... And just and you notice the other thing, I take my hand off the guitar now. I've learned to do that because otherwise I just almost make a little nervous lick or something in there that doesn't really need to be there. So I try not to overplay, and that goes to a number of things. I do overplay, but I try not to. And that goes to a number of things, but it definitely goes to have what I call a nervous hand. You can have nervous hands on both sides, but, try to relax and don't overplay. And that definitely goes to picking. Get your hand off the, guitar. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to just let a note ring. That to me is one of the hardest things I still try to work on. Not overplaying, because a lot of times if you know the neck and everything, you know, you play a scale and then you play another one, and pretty soon, you lose. But a good thing to do is take those old melody songs. A lot of them are piano based, and just play them and really try to focus on every note and make the melody clean. And that goes to picking, among other things. The other thing sometimes I do, especially on electric, here I've got an acoustic, but I kind of cup the strings. I kind of get right in there and I hold it like this and I cup, depending on what I'm doing. But when you're right on the strings, but you're kind of cupping, and it kind of cleans you up for one thing. And I notice, again, when I try to play something kind of melodic, where the guitar really needs to sing but not have a bunch of stuff going on, I kind of cup that string, and I just sit real still, and I just try to play the note, and I almost feel like I'm just a mannequin in the store or something, and just my hand is moving on that pick. But that helps me to play some of those melody songs. Might be kind of a weird topic for a video, but upon reflection, it's really important, how you hold that pick. And the final thing I guess I'd like to say is what has helped me is just playing, even now I'll notice out just playing on a Friday night, just relaxing, having a good time, putting on some backing tracks or something, or just playing, jamming. That develops me more than like trying to practice something. Although, sometimes you kind of try to work things in and practice them, and there is a role for practicing. But I'll never forget, there's a guy I know a little bit, and he played in a version of the Outlaws. He was actually on that album, Hitting the Road, I think, with the Outlaws. It was a 90s era Outlaws album, and he did a couple tours with the Outlaws, and now he's in a pretty big Aerosmith tribute band. But I remember one time he told me that the Outlaws never practiced, and if you wanted to practice all the time, they considered that bad. Now, that doesn't mean they were sloppy or they didn't care, but they played, they didn't practice. And I'll never forget, he told me, I play, I don't practice. And I don't think, and this guy was a great guitar player, I don't think he meant like, just be sloppy, never pick up your instrument, just go to shows and be all rusty and unprepared. That's not what he meant at all. But he meant he plays, not practices. And I thought about that over the years, and I think that's good advice in a way. Play, because you get better when you play. I can't tell you how many breakthroughs I've had in guitar, including with picking, just playing. Not someone teaches you something and you try to sit there and practice it and analyze it, and it can seem to come so hard to you. And just sit and play. And I never even think about how I pick. But sometimes these videos are interesting because when I zoom in, I can zoom in with these cameras now, and I'll look at my pick and I'll go, wow, that is kind of moving around in weird ways. And but I have never thought about it before, and I'm not a young man, so it is kind of weird. But play, don't practice, and your picking will get better. But a couple things to maybe do try to incorporate in your playing is kind of laying it flat on the string. I think that's one of the things when I play that some people have noticed, how I lay it flat on the strings. And I do think it gives you a kind of sustain. And then the other thing I've tried to work on is being really still and conserving movement, especially if I'm playing some kind of melodic song where you don't want to be all busy adding things that don't need to be there. Well, that was my unusual video. Thank you. God bless you.